Stop letting limiting beliefs get in the way of you living the life that you know that you deserve. In this video, I'm going to talk about 6 different steps and essentially 6 different phases to actually identifying what limiting beliefs you have and actually kicking those beliefs to the curb, okay? And you definitely want to stick around till the end of this video because at the end, I'm going to share an actual PDF here that I created that accompanies this video because I know some of you maybe want something physical that you can use to help you through this process. So if you want hands on that PDF, stick around till the end. With that being said, let's get straight into it. Phase number 1 is going to be identifying what limiting beliefs you actually have. So this is going to be kind of tricky because you have to catch yourself when you're having those negative recurring thoughts. So maybe you find yourself kind of throughout the day saying, God, I'm so bad at this. Or maybe you find yourself saying, I won't ever be able to do X, Y, and Z. Anything negative that you're basically telling yourself about your capabilities, about your ability, about your accomplishments, about things that you essentially can or can't do. So limiting beliefs are going to sound like anything negative that has to do with you, what you can do or what you can't do, however you want to define that. But it's just they're things that don't feel good. So when you are going out and about, or you're just kind of going throughout your day and you catch yourself saying these things, this is where I want you to be like, oh, wait, okay, here's a limiting belief. Here's something that I'm saying that's negative, right? And you don't have to do anything with it in that moment other than just identify the limiting belief. So if you end up downloading the PDF that I have created for you, there's going to be a section in phase 1 where you can write it down. So just have that awareness, whether it's the PDF or whether it's the notes in your phone, have that awareness of, okay, what exactly am I saying to myself about myself? And that is just all that you're going to do. So you can do this in the span of a day if you'd like, 2 days, a week. I would actually recommend giving yourself a couple days because some things that you tell yourself one day may be different the next day. And so I personally believe that maybe a week is probably better than a day, just because you're going to give yourself a good chunk of time. And there's going to be so many things that happen in that week too, because you might find that you have certain limiting beliefs and certain negative things that you say about yourself when you're around certain people throughout the week, when you're in different settings, different environments throughout the week. So I would really encourage you to just give yourself like a week just so you can have a good just to have that opportunity, right? Like an opportunity to catch all those different instances and circumstances where you may be saying those negative things to yourself. And that is literally it. So once you have gone through phase 1, phase 2 is going to be to actually identify where those limiting beliefs come from. And this is where it's super important to kind of document somewhere what those limiting beliefs are, because in phase 2, you're going to revisit those. So you're going to look at, okay, here are all the things that I notice that I say to myself that are negative and they don't feel good. Now I need to identify, where do these come from? Who said this to me? When did I adopt this belief? Why did I adopt this belief? Phase 2, babe, you're going to go so deep with this. And so in the PDF that I have created for you, I have a list of several different types of questions that you can ask yourself. These are all questions that I have asked myself when thinking about the limiting beliefs that I have. And, we all have them, by the way. Like, I still have tons of limiting beliefs, but the beautiful thing about this process is having the tools to actually sit with them and identify, oh, this is where it comes from. And that's where the power comes from, y'all. Like, when you can sit there and say, oh my God, like, now I understand myself so much better because there's this wound that I carry. This is where it came from. Okay, like, now I can begin to do the work to release this and let it go. So asking yourself those type of questions. Like, I'll even give an example of a limiting belief that I had that I carried for a good chunk of my life. And that was that I could never lose weight. That I could never lose weight because I've always been overweight, that my body is just bigger, that I just am, have bigger bones, I'm built big, like I just won't ever be able to lose weight. And I had to ask myself, who told me that? Who told me that I couldn't lose weight? And I grew up kind of hearing it often around me, not even just to me, but just around me in general, that if you're overweight, the longer you wait to lose the weight, the just harder it's going to be, that it's not going to be doable, you're not going to be able to accomplish it. So I found all these different reasons and things to tell myself as far as losing weight, because I just felt like it almost was a defense mechanism of like, okay, well, since I already know I can't lose weight, then I guess I can't get disappointed now. And it just goes so much deeper than that. There were just so many things that I heard from people outside of me that I really internalized, that just over the years I then just told myself, well, it's just I can't lose it, I'm not going to be able to lose this weight. And I had to ask myself, well, do I want to lose weight? Do I want to shed a couple extra pounds, which is okay, by the way. Like, if you're someone who wants to lose weight, there's nothing wrong with that. We're all beautiful the way that we are, but individually some of us may have different goals than other people, and that's okay, right? But it's about identifying the limiting belief and where it came from. Like, why do you hold that certain belief? Why do I hold that certain belief? Whatever the belief is, and just really getting to the very core of where that came from, because that step is what is going to take you to the next level, to then let it go. You're not going to be able to let go of your limiting beliefs until you identify where did it come from, because it's a part of the process here. So asking yourself those questions again, I have it on the PDF for you, and it's to help you just get to the root cause and just deeper with this work of, okay, where does this come from? So once you do that, phase 3. Now, listen, this is going to be a little bit challenging. I just want to throw that disclaimer. Sometimes I struggle with this too, but phase 3 is all about forgiveness. Before you can sit there and recreate your narrative, before you can recreate your story and, turn these limiting beliefs into affirmations, there is an element of forgiveness that we first have to go through. And so maybe forgiveness is forgiving yourself. Maybe a part of it is forgiving the person who said X, Y, and Z to you. And maybe a little bit of it is also having an understanding from where they came from. And it's not to excuse anything that someone may have said or done to you per se, but a little bit of that understanding of maybe they were told those things. Maybe the person who bullied you was bullied by their family or someone that they really trusted. And again, it doesn't make or excuse a person's behavior for how they treated you, but this is just to help you get into that space of being able to forgive either something someone said or did to you, or for you to be able to forgive yourself. And again, another example that I would love to give here is I completely lost myself in one of the relationships that I was with a guy in college. And prior to me getting in that relationship with him, I felt like I genuinely started to like develop my self-worth. I started to understand who I was. I was really feeling good about just myself in general. And then when I got into this relationship, I completely lost myself. I just things that I tolerated in that relationship, I would never tolerate in this day. And I had to get to a place where I forgave this person. And prior to, being with this person, I also felt like, oh, I know what kind of guy I deserve. Like, I'm going to have like the best guy. I'm going to have a nice guy, a guy who's respectful. And then after being in this relationship, I started questioning myself and telling myself, oh, I'll never be in a relationship. Oh, I'll never find a good guy. Like, there's no such thing as a good guy. And I had to ask myself, okay, where is this belief coming from? And a lot of it stemmed from that relationship with that guy that I was with, because I felt like everything I thought I knew about men was a lie. And there was just so many revelations to me in this one relationship. And it's not to say that this particular person dictated the way I viewed every single guy, but there was just a lot of inner work that I had to do prior to even getting with him, but especially after we broke up. And so I genuinely felt like in that relationship that maybe I wasn't worth, a loving partner. Maybe I wasn't worth being in an incredible relationship and in a loving, secure, safe relationship. And over time, I just continued to internalize that. This was like 6 years ago. And then in my inner work journey, I had to get to that place where I asked myself, where is this coming from? Why do you feel like you don't deserve a loving person? Why do you feel like you're not going to find a good guy? What is it that you're still carrying on to within? And one of the biggest revelations for me through this work and through this journey was that I stopped loving myself, and I had a hard time forgiving myself. For me in this example, it wasn't even really about forgiving the guy that I was with, which I have done anyway for just things that he said, and this is just a video for another day. but I had to forgive myself for not loving myself enough to walk away sooner from that relationship, and for just losing my self-worth and my self-respect. And so when you're thinking about limiting beliefs and where they stem from, there's some sort of like forgiveness that needs to happen that's a part of this picture. Maybe it's you forgiving yourself truly for something that you either allowed, something that you either did, something that you invited, or forgiving a person for things that they said to you, for what they did, how they treated you, whatever it is. So forgiveness, okay? This might take you some time. Babe, that is okay. Take as much time as you need for this particular phase, because it's not easy to just snap your fingers, right? And forgive someone or to forgive yourself. This takes time. But again, this is a part of the journey. There's no timeline. You're not in a rush to do this, right? Like, this is a lifestyle. This is a part of a lifestyle of inner work, of healing, of letting things go that do not serve you. So please give yourself the time and grace, and just as much time as you need to be able to get through this part of the process. Okay, so phase 4 is my favorite part. This is where you are going to create your narrative. Okay, you get to write a new story. You get to decide, okay, what is it that I actually do believe about myself? What is actually true about myself? And here's where you get to identify, right? Like, who are you? Like, what is your truth? So whatever that limiting belief was, and now you've identified where it came from. So okay, what's actually true about this belief? Maybe it's that, you know what, no, I can actually, I'm gonna make something up, run the marathon. Or you know what, no, I am actually deserving of a beautiful, loving partner, because you know what, I'm a loving, beautiful person. I am a child of the universe. I am a child of God. I have an amazing heart. So why on earth would I not deserve someone who matches my energy? Okay, period. Like, this is the truth. So write your narrative, rewrite your story, recreate your story. And in that PDF that I've created, there's a section there where you can rephrase all of the limiting beliefs you have. You can rewrite your story. You can make it into like a little like mini story, a little journal, whatever, a journal entry, whatever it is. But what is actually your truth? And own that, soak that in, because you know what? This is who you are. You deserve whatever it is that you have in your heart. Whatever limiting belief that you've carried up until now, bye. Like, we're not carrying it anymore. We're not continuing to go throughout this year with those beliefs. So what beliefs are you now going to hold that are your truth? Okay, write it, embrace it, sulk in it, feel good about it. So phase 4 is pretty simple, right? Phase 5 is now going to be identifying and aligning with actions that match that narrative. So if you are now recreating your story and you're saying you're worthy of a deserving partner, maybe you're worthy of that body, you're worthy of that dream career, whatever it is that you now believe and you are intentionally telling yourself you're worthy of, identify some actions that align with that. Because it's one thing to say, oh, I'm worthy of this, but if you're not aligning certain actions with that belief, it's going to be easy to kind of regress and take steps back and get back into that mentality of the limiting belief that you had prior to. Because we have to remember, these limiting beliefs that we have came from somewhere, and it's likely that we've held on to them for years, maybe even decades. Okay, some of us have been holding on to limiting beliefs almost our whole life. Okay, so it takes a lot of work. You have to be very intentional about what it is that you're saying and doing, so that you can really hold on to these new beliefs. So if your intention and now your mentality and your belief is that I am worthy of a loving partner, what actions are you going to take that match that? If you're maybe someone who, and no judgment here, but if you're maybe sleeping around a lot, or if you're hooking up a lot, whatever it is, it's your life. But does that action feel like it is in alignment with what you're saying when it comes to I am deserving of a loving partner, someone who's going to pour into me, who's going to be positive and uplift me and be there for me? So some people might be like, oh yeah, I totally feel like it aligns. If you believe that deep down, fantastic. If you don't deep down, okay, what do you need to change? I cannot say what anyone here needs to do. Neither can anyone else in your life tell you what to do. This is based off of what you in your heart believe there what actions you believe in your heart that you need to take, right? So what actions do you need to start doing and taking that match this new narrative? Because if you're not matching that narrative, like I said, it's going to be so easy to digress and go back into that mentality of whatever limiting belief you already originally had. So definitely make sure you download the PDF, because I have examples and scenarios in there that are going to kind of help you think about little things that you can do, little mini steps and actions you can take for different types of limiting beliefs that you're working through. And that way you don't have to recreate the wheel or kind of think from scratch of like, wait, I don't know, like what exactly should I do? We're going to pause real quick for a second. I just want to encourage you to please like this video if it's hitting, if it's resonating, if you're like, oh my God, yes, girl, like oh my God, like this totally makes sense. I just am so excited to work on these limiting beliefs, let them go. That lets me know that this content is valuable to you all. And that also lets me know if maybe I should do a part 2. Maybe I could do a part 2 to a limiting beliefs kind of, letting go of limiting beliefs, etc. And then the final phase is going to be just reflection. It's just ongoing reflection. If you are on this inner work journey, you're on your healing journey, then you know, right? Like a lot of this is just everyday reflection of like, oh, I did that. Didn't like how that made me feel. Okay, so I'm going to try something new, see if that, is working out for me. If it did, okay, cool. What did I like about it? It's just all about reflection. So as you're going through and you're working through these limiting beliefs and you're having these breakthroughs and you're noticing progress and change in your life, how does it feel, right? Like you can write about it, you can express it with a friend, you can talk about it, you can comment down below on this YouTube channel. Like I would love to hear about people's breakthroughs. Like your breakthroughs are another person's breakthroughs, who are another person's breakthroughs, who are my breakthroughs. Like we're all so connected. So give yourself those shout outs. Like also be so intentional about giving yourself a shout out for doing the work that you're doing and for showing up for yourself and actually trying to figure out where these limiting beliefs come from and trying to forgive, either yourself or the person who put that on you, or society, or wherever it came from, right? Like I'm so proud of you for doing the work that you're doing, because this is not easy. Inner work is so difficult sometimes, but it is just so rewarding to let things go. Like I feel like the more things that I personally let go, the lighter I feel, the more I feel like I'm able to manifest things, the more I feel just so in tune with myself, so connected to my higher self, and the more grounded that I just feel. And so I just want all of us to experience this, and it's so freaking worth it. Okay, it is just so worth it. So that's all I have for you all in this video. Again, let me know down in the comments below what's maybe a limiting belief that you're currently working through, and what are some things that you're maybe doing to kind of let go of that limiting belief. I would love to hear from you guys. There may be a strategy or a tip or a suggestion that you have that inspires somebody else, that maybe resonates with someone else. And so I love the idea of community building, and I really genuinely just want this to be a place where we can all inspire one another. So let me know down in the comments below. And please also do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Alrighty, so to go ahead and get that PDF, you are going to go to lidetberhanu.com, and then you're going to go to the members login tab. And from here, you're going to actually create a login. So your name, your email, and your password. I'm going to actually go back and sign in with my info that I already have. And then once you're signed in, all you'll have to do from here really is just scroll down to the bottom of the page where you see my communities. So you'll go to Elevate Community. And then from there, you'll be able to see every journal activity that I have, any PDF, anything that I share with you guys. So you'll just click on the Google Drive link. And then from there, you have access to the Limiting Beliefs PDF. So you can download it from here. You can save it onto your computer, your tablet, whatever the case is, whatever you're using. And again, everything that I share with you all, you'll be able to get from the Elevate community page on my website. So you want to make sure that you create that account. That way you have access to everything I share.